your girl CeCe Nicole, and welcome back to my channel. And please, 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 I would love for you to be a part of my tribe. So please make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell in the corner there so you'll know when I upload videos. All right, so let's get into it. This video is going to be about depression and anxiety. A while back on Facebook, I was posting videos every Wednesday, calling it Wellness Wednesday with CeCe Nicole, and I was just talking about different things as far as self-care, taking care of yourself, and self-healing. I felt like a lot of people related to me, and I related to a lot of people in different aspects in regards to depression, anxiety, because a lot of us do experience it on a day-to-day basis. Some of us may not know how to handle it or how to overcome it. So I took the privilege of writing down definitions and the causes of depression and anxiety. I am going to read those off to you guys, and then I'm going to get into my life and my experience and on how I dealt with depression and anxiety. Okay, so stay tuned. All right, so what is depression? A mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness, a loss of interest. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. What is it caused by? Depression is often caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain, hence why some people take medications or why some people smoke weed all day. Factors of depression: sexual, mental, physical, and emotional abuse. This is trauma that we carry throughout our lives, whether it be knowingly and unknowingly. Signs of depression: feeling helpless and hopeless, loss of interest in daily activities, appetite and weight changes, sleep changes, anger or irritability, loss of energy, self-loathing, reckless behavior, concentration problems, unexplained aches and pains, and thoughts of suicide. Depression can last 3 to 8 months, maybe longer depending on the severity of your condition. Okay, now let's get into the definition and causes of anxiety. Anxiety is intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Fast heart rate, these are the things that you can experience. Fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired as well. The common causes, are normal. Common causes are normal in stressful situations, public speaking, like taking a test, or just dealing with the crazy people at work. Okay, so self-treatment for anxiety would be exercise, healthy diet, regular sleep, relaxation exercises, support group, and therapy. Okay, so we've gotten the definitions and the causes out the way. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, child. So to be quite frank and honest with you guys, I think it's about the age of 12, 13. I would say 13. Somewhere along in there. Child was depressed. I was unhappy. And from that age all the way up into my adulthood. And I came to that conclusion, just reflecting and going to therapy. I was unhappy. I may have had good times. There may have been happy moments. I may have smiled. I may have laughed. But I was depressed. And even with having children at an early age, I didn't, in the pamphlets they tell you about postpartum depression, but I just didn't know I was depressed. I didn't know I was depressed. And the environment that I was in, that I was in didn't allow you, or didn't even encourage going to therapy, or didn't allow, in my case, let me speak for me, it didn't allow me to express myself in a healthy way. My growth, in a way, my growth was stopped. My growth was stunted, and I became stagnated. I felt like I was walking around with this dark cloud over my head. As I named the signs of depression, I was feeling helpless and hopeless. I lost interest in, certain activities. Just reflecting and thinking back on my life now, even on into my adulthood, I experienced these symptoms. I love sleep, and when things got too heavy for me, I slept. Like slept, because I felt like me sleeping, I can sleep my problems and my worries away, and I wouldn't have to face whatever I needed to face. Like I would be doorknob dead sleep. Like I had trained my mind to be a heavy sleeper. Sounds crazy, but I did. Anger. I experienced anger, irritability, loss of energy, self-loathing. Yes, because I felt guilty, because even let me back up. Even with me going to therapy, and I started to realize, like, wow, these traumatic things has caused me maybe to transfer this trauma over to my children. So I began to feel guilty about that, and I had to work through that, because as a parent, we want to protect our children, we want to love our children, but consciously I didn't realize that the abuse that I've been through caused me to cause that cycle to continue, and whether it was advertently or inadvertently transferred over to my children. So I was like, oh my God, Lord help me. So it was the blunt blow of that. So I had to basically just take my life, take my life back, and take it by the horns, and and just like, oh no, we're not gonna do that. And just I experienced a self awakening, and I had to deprogram myself. And some people may say, well, it's too late for you to try to fix this and fix that. I'm like, child, no, it's not. But I literally had to train my mind. I literally had to deprogram the way that I was taught and the way that I learned to think. And once I began to do that, I had to go back and like, okay, kids, this is how you will address this information, or this is how we're going to do this, so on and so forth. Because you realize, should I say, I realized in going to therapy how cyclical things are, even with my parents, and even with my abusers, I had to, or should I say, I began to understand the psychology behind everything. Not excusing one's behavior, but understand the scientific psychology behind it, understanding the science behind that. And it was like, oh, wow. So, and just thinking about that, knowing that we are all walking around with trauma. We're all walking around, dealing with things. So it's going to be very important that, and I had to realize this, I had to realize that I had to not only be gentle with myself, but gentle with others, and understanding with myself and understanding, with others. And that's not, that wasn't an easy task for me, because of the traumatic things that I went through in regards to people, and that trust factor with people. I was quick to throw people away. One time, it could have been a misunderstanding. You got one time with me, baby, and I'm putting you off. I don't talk to me, don't call me, don't text me, don't Facebook me, don't nothing to me. And it was like, well, no, see, you have to understand that some people, may have been through certain things, and this may be the reason why they act the way they act. And as well as communication. I had to learn these things through communication. Like, okay, well, they said this, but let me go back and ask. Let me just not have my own thought and understanding on what I think and what I perceived it to be. Let me go back and ask. Let me try to work through this and communicate. Now, it's just some people just like, nah, just don't deserve any second chances. Cut their ass off and let them go on out the door. But yeah, I was miserable, and going through therapy helped me realize that I was miserable, and that was something to experience as well. But it just helped me to realize, like, I have to break these cyclical things. I have to break these generational curses, even with my children. Like, it has to stop with me. And just in journaling every day, because I do journal, I do meditate, and child, I try to exercise, but we working on that. But I will go walking. I will do. Just gonna be real with y'all. Walking I will do, but a lot of my work has been mentally. So like I say, I journal, I read books, you know what I'm saying? And that has helped me to get everything in here out. And seeing it on paper, or reading a book, or putting my thoughts on paper and reading a book, that is what helps me. And actually just going to someone and talking about it, or whether I may be, speaking with my sisters or a close friend or somebody that may be going through something similar, it gave me a feeling of hope, because like, wow, I wasn't the only one experiencing this. I wasn't the only one thinking like this. I wasn't the only one going through this. And I was like, so it gave me a sense of community, which is also one of the reasons why I started to make my Wellness Wednesdays videos, to have that sense of community and to let people know that you're not the only one. You're not by yourself. You're not the only one going through that. You're not the only one that has been sexually abused. You're not the only one that has been physically abused, emotionally abused. You're not the only one. You're not by yourself. But I want to encourage you to go and seek help, to go and speak with somebody. I come from an environment where that was not encouraged, but I want to encourage that. And if you are a mother, if you are a dad, if you are an uncle, grandpa, grandma, whatever, encourage that, and know that it's not too late to deprogram yourself. It's not too late to deprogram yourself. It's not too late for you to self-heal. It's not too late for you to have this awakening, like, oh my God, I was kind of messed up. Or, oh my God, I done kind of fucked up. So let me go ahead and, fix this. It's not too late to fix your life, because at the end of the day, we are the creators of our own destiny. We create the life that we want to live. And once I realized that, guys, and I realized that about 3 to 4 years ago, you know what I'm saying? About 3 to 4 years ago, I realized that. Came to the realization that, damn, girl, you've been just kind of floating through life, you know what I'm saying? And not really dealing with the issue or the root problem. And I finally was able to face that monster back in 2017, and was able to face it and be like, okay, I can breathe again, I'm free again. Because like I say, from the age of 13 on up until my adulthood, I didn't have any sense of self. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know, that my voice was important. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and ever since I finally got enough courage and courage to like face that monster, and courage to climb that mountain, and courage to overcome, I was just like, it's been fine ever since. And I had to tell myself that depression is foreign. I know you're like, CeCe, what you talking about? But I had to tell myself, like, depression is foreign. God didn't create me to be depressed. He didn't create me in his image and in his likeness for me to be pressed. That too. But for me to be depressed, he came that I might have life and that more abundantly. So I need to live now. I need to live. You know what I'm saying? And I was just sitting, I was journaling one day, and that just came to me. It's like, God didn't create you for this. He did not create you to be burdened down. He didn't create you to be depressed. He didn't create you to walk around with this cloud over your head. He didn't create you for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, find your voice, and live in your truth. And ever since that day, I've just been, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, and physically, but yet mentally, because that's where the battle for me. And I think a lot of times with depression, that's where the battle is at. You know what I'm saying? And even me getting on up in age, I've started to learn about menopause, and you can get depression with menopause. I'm like, Lord Jesus, now come on now. I ain't got time for this. But I had to make up in my mind, like seriously, I had to make up in my mind, like, child, tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of, going through this. I'm tired of acting this way. I just got tired of myself. I got tired of myself. And sometimes you got to get tired of your motherfucking self. You got to get tired of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in a place of being stagnant. I was just this little flower in the concrete, and just stuck, just stuck there. But then I began to realize and just blossom. But you got to get tired of yourself. You got to get tired. You got to get not just sick and tired, but you got to get motherfucking tired of yourself. And I would say this again: God did not create us in his image and in his likeness. Think on that. He created us in his image and in his likeness for us to take on this foreign thing called depression and act like that. He didn't create us for that. He came so we can have life and live it more abundantly. So if you're watching this video, I want you to say those things to yourself. Write it down. Put it a sticky note on your mirror. God did not create me in his likeness and in his image for me to take on something foreign. Live in your purpose. Live in your truth. Be transparent. Be free. Because I'm going to tell you, child, ain't nothing like being free. Ain't nothing like being free. I had to train my mind. I had to train my body, because I realized that different stresses or different trauma that I went through, I maintained that negative energy in my body. So yes, I walk, like I said, but I walk. But I had to train myself. If I was to go to think something negative, I would automatically go to the positive. And even with anxiety, I think I said this in one of my videos, even with anxiety, when it comes around meeting new people, because the environment that I grew up in, I had a bad experience with people. So when I'm around new people, I get a little bit of anxiety. So I'm just, observant and sitting back, just looking like, okay, let me look at you. Let me find out. Let me figure out who you is, what you about, or whatever. Because every time in my experience, every time that I would get around somebody new and open myself up to them, I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that trust with me and people is like, and that's why now, somebody mess over me, or it just might even be a simple misunderstanding. I don't want to say now, because I am getting better. Misunderstanding, I will cut people off in a minute. Don't call me, don't text me, don't Instagram me, don't Facebook me, don't Snapchat me, don't send me no letter, don't send me no smoke signal, nothing. Because I ain't got time for you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm learning, you know. I'm learning on my self-healing journey. I'm learning to be more understanding. I'm learning to be more gentle with people. I'm learning. But yeah, dealing with anxiety with in a new atmosphere, in a new, around new people, and sometimes I be like, she ain't right, he ain't right. But even with that, y'all, like, I'm a people person, but then I'm not a people person. Like, I'm an introvert, but then I'm an extrovert at the same time. But then it's like, what's your motive? I automatically start thinking then, like, what's your motive? Like, what you want me my friends for? What you want me my friend for? Like, you too nice. I start thinking like that, and I'm just like, no, see, you can't think like that all the time. Everybody is not out to get you. Everybody is not out to hurt you. But I've been through so much, I automatically go through that. And my anxiety and heartbeat. And so I had to calm myself down. That's one of the reasons why I got into meditation. Meditation and affirmation. I would say whatever I'm going to say with my affirmation during my meditation, and just becoming one with myself and, one with God, one with my body. And that has helped me. So now I've always looked at people crazy, so I still do that, but I don't be wanting to take out running every time I'm around new people or around new atmosphere. But yeah, I think that's about all I had to say in this video, guys. I think that's about all that my mind is processing right now to say. But I will say, allow yourself to be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to be nice to yourself. Allow yourself to love you. Allow yourself to like you. Because once we change our perception on how we think about us, then we begin to see other people differently and understand that the fact that we're all walking around with trauma. We're all walking around and have dealt with something in our lifetime. Now, I'm not saying excuse one's behavior. No, I'm not saying place yourself in a position where you're constantly not at peace. I'm not saying that. But just be compassionate towards one another. And even, let me hit on this real quick. Even with suicide, I did have thoughts of suicide. I did not act on it. I've even experienced with one of my siblings acting on it. But that's a heavy stronghold, and sometimes depression can lead to that. So that's why I say be gentle with each other, be compassionate towards one another, be understanding towards one another, and you'd be surprised. Just simple communication, would do. Just simple communication would do. Now, if you communicate, like for an example, I had this person communicated, with this person, like, hey, I'm triggered by such and such, or hey, I went through this, and I don't feel comfortable with this and this and that, and this person still went against what I told them. So it's just like, okay, you're unsafe for me, so let me back and let me let you, go do your thing. And I'll probably make a video about being safe, feeling and being safe around people. But yeah, guys, suicide, if you come across this video and you're having those thoughts, or you want to get rid of your life, please go and get some help. Your life is valuable. You are valuable. You are worthy. Yeah, guys, it's just I don't know, that's what I keep hearing, is just be more compassionate and be more empathetic towards each other, be more gentle towards each other, especially in these times, especially with Black people. But that's a whole nother video, child. That's a whole nother video. Cause as being black in America, child, you bound to have some type of anxiety just being black in America. You bound to be depressed just to be black in America. But I will say we done came this far. We continue to go. But yeah, that's all I have. Let me stop the video right now before I start rambling and just start talking about any and everything, y'all. But I think that's it. So again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I hope you enjoyed this video for Wellness Wednesday. I hope you can take something from it and apply it to your life. And remember, God did not create you in his image and in his likeness for you to take on something foreign